as actresses, whether it is different and difficult to act with a female director or with a male director, because sensitivity is something different and mindset also
yeah, that's a
different.
good question. I'd like an answer as well. Is it different?
Working with the...
Please tell us the lie.
My mic
Trick
is
question.
not working.
You got your answer.
Oh, I thought it's a conspiracy. Sir, hello. Jyoti Venkatesh sir, hi, how are you? Sir, one of my third big job in life was to work with a director called Meera Nair. It was just a short film, not released yet. And I observed how she walked into the set and how she commanded respect without ever raising her voice. And it was like a bustling crew which would often fall silent, but not out of fear, but out of respect. And she would be able to achieve whatever she wanted. And that taught me that I had been conditioned to believe that in order to get ahead, a woman has to be a bitch. You understand? And that, I'm really glad I broke that concept immediately, because I saw, okay, this woman is my director. She could also be my friend. She could also be maternal towards me. And I learned so much from that. So I think it's fun to work with a good director, irrespective of gender.
And Tanishta?
Yeah,
Sorry, I have the last question.
Tanishta, you are not replied.
Yeah, I would completely agree with Richa.
Tanishta, you are not replied.
What I
Yeah, she's replying if you let
That's
her.
what I'm replying, that I would completely agree with Richa. I've worked with both female and male directors, and I think it's very individual. It's not gender specific at all. You can have a very insensitive female director and a very sensitive male director, and vice versa.
Geraldine,
it's not
do you
gender
want
specific.
to say something to that?
Yes, this reminds me, just listening to the questions, of what often happens for us as professors, that even if we're talking about women's history or we're talking about women's subjects, that the questions are all dominated by men. And I keep wondering whether it's something that men can't resist, sort of stepping forward and being first. And there hasn't been, at least from my perspective, a question yet from a woman in the audience.
But there just have been, they've just been.
She wanted to ask a question, but her mic was passed on to him. Is this true? Oh.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll take your question, ma'am. I'll come back to you. Thanks for the gesture. Yes, ma'am.
It's really fascinating listening to this. So I'm coming from Canada, where as somebody who'd never done a film before last year, I too didn't think I was a writer, but we have organizations that support women in film. So my question here is, are there such organizations in India that support women in film? And it's because mentorship is a huge part of it. Is if you can find mentors within your field, they help each other. And I think that's how I've seen women get ahead, at least in North America.
I think there's
a new one of cinematographers,
DOPs
that have come together to make a collective just last week, and they plan to.
And there's a pre-existing one called Women in Film and Television. Yeah.
It's a worldwide organization. It's the same thing.
But you can call any of us.
Yes.
I offer women in the audience that maybe want to make a film, right? Yes. To reach out to. So that was an organization that helped me in my country. But I wonder, why doesn't it work that way in India?
Now you're here, you'll make it work.
Richa, do we see a collective emerging right here?
Yes.
And sir, thanks for the very good gesture. Your question is the last one.
How do you visualize the face of women in films 5 years from now?
Who is this to? Tanishta.
Like I said, that I would want like to change through pop culture, because I think pop culture is a huge tool of the way things can change. So the way I visualize is to have very interesting characters of women, and all
Madhubala, Nargis, Nutan, Veena Kumari, who could carry a film on their shoulders. They were there. Whether it was as early as Bandhani or Achut Kanya or Mother India, there were women who were strong and who were very, very loved. I don't think that, I don't see that kind of stardom. It's a much quicker FMCG category, I'm told, the Indian network.
I just want to add one last thing, because it always comes down to films, and that seems to be the center point. But we've been having a very, very interesting phase in the last 2 weeks, where I think it starts with the acknowledgement that women's issues seem to be at a flashpoint when it comes to the media. So be it the TVF Aruna Kumar controversy and sexual harassment being discussed as a debate, or be it, I've been wondering why Alia, who is such an immensely talented, brilliant and amazing actress, with a family to tell her and give her guidance, because she is within the industry, would do a Badrinath Ki Dulhania and putting it out there with the names. Or cut to, I'm just saying, let's just connect the dots, a Gurmehar Kaur who got trolled, because I regularly get trolled, because we can't miss out the fact that while the media seems to pick up on all these women issues and they put out all these open letters, when you look at the comment section, you will realize how little things have changed when it comes to the larger masses and numbers, because the haters can really mess with you in terms of putting you in your place when you come from this gender. So the point I'm trying to make here is, and Gurmehar Kaur, because it's a political event, we are living in a very polarized world, so everything seems to go either this way or that way. Interestingly, I noticed that ultimately what came down to how Barkha Dutt was actually teaching her to do all this. So it's very easy to pick up these demons and to demonize, I believe, this gender, specifically now when I'm talking about the internet. It's not something we should miss out on, because it plays a very critical role in how we are shaping a whole generation. If you notice, most young girls from colleges who follow me, they all have private profiles. They are scared to even publicly be there. So while we like to think that things are changing in the urban space and all, I think it's maybe a topic for another day, where our open spaces being safer. And when you are talking media and entertainment, we cannot forget that the internet and the social media really plays a very, very critical space. So if I'm getting rape threats on Twitter, if there's somebody watching out there and who's from Twitter, should know that those accounts should be just shut down, period. And no coming back after 2 weeks. So
yes, Monica. Yes. Just the last minute, yes.
Yeah, just to sum it up, I think the entire media and creative communication industry, whether it's advertising, television or films, can play a huge role in actually addressing all the questions which were raised today. Is representing women very subliminally in roles which are not make a big deal about it that I did this, and it should become a very natural progression in our society. Only will the actual grassroots change will happen.
So there we are at the end of this wonderful session. Too many of us, and I hope there is something that threw up which you'll take home. Thank you very much to each one of you for being here.
but rather put it on digital and not worry about broadcasting.
Not at all, and even
not worry about the P&A.
Not even worry about the theatrical in case.
So that opens up a lot of opportunity for you as an actress.
Yeah, certainly.
And
that is always welcome. What I had noticed from a lot of films that I've done, one burns one's heart and soul in making a film, and then because the distribution or the P&A is not good enough, or it's an indie sort of film or a niche sort of thing, then it becomes extremely difficult to send that film out into the larger world. With the advent of digital stuff, it's become so much easier to be able to directly access your audience. And if it's good, then word of mouth sends the film into another orbit. As in the case of Chutney, it's at 47.5 or something million views. So we spent 0 rupees on advertising it, nothing at all. So yeah, I think it's just absolutely fabulous, both for the audiences and for the makers, because the audiences also don't want a overly marketed film which is pushed down their throats every single day. And the makers, of course, want to not spend additional money on top of the product. I'd rather spend on making a very good film than on just pushing it out there. So I think it's a win-win.
Raghav?
Yes, sir.
How about you? What are the differences that you've seen? You were a struggling actor, then moved into the...
That's right.
Has that got anything to do with the social media presence?
Actually, no, the money was really good. There wasn't anything else to it. Telugu is a very cash-rich business. I do think the cinema is rather formulaic, but yeah, you need to...
But did you get any international offers based on your social media presence?
No, I think largely it was based on what people perceive to be talent, but not really on the basis of social media presence. No.
Okay. So you're good to stay in